Here's my conversation with Gary Bodley, in which we talk about my experience in the Great Pyramid, and also he was channeling in France at the same time, and it's really cool how our information correlate and verify each other.
We were in France. I asked a bunch of questions about why we were there and why you were in Egypt, and it was to bring in the seventh ray. And they were talking about you a lot,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
that this is, you and us were doing a lot of this work, and we were initiated into the seventh ray.
Yeah.
Which sounds woo-woo as fuck, but it was a big deal. I'm interested to hear exactly what you did there.
Okay. So there were a whole bunch of events and sites that prepared us for the Great Pyramid. Every event started off with a ceremony. Every single place we had to go, we did a ceremony of asking for permission to enter. We did a ceremony of you ask with your left hand and you lead with your left foot into it, because that's what the Egyptians did. We did a ceremony of talking to each building, each site individually, and asking permission. So every single site, there was a ceremony. So if you want to go into the ceremony that I had at the Sphinx, that also,
Yeah, what was that like?
We walk around it. She stands in front, and she says some opening remarks. She talks to the Sphinx in front of us, because she's really good about that. She can talk to buildings and places. And then she tells us a little bit about honoring it and just how to approach it and how to ask permission. And then we all sat down and we found a place that resonated with us. And I just sat down and meditated for 2 hours. Every single site we sat down and we drunk a little tea thing and we meditated with it. We thanked the cacao spirit and we thanked it, and it kind of put us into a meditation mood. And then it opened us to talk to the area around us. So yeah, every single ceremony was like that. We sat down, each got our cacao mixture, and then we gently slip it and we kind of prayed to it and thanked it.
And did you get anything during that meditation?
Yes, I mean, what I probably was in the most deep meditation. Then I just sat there. I had a seat right in front of the Sphinx, and I just sat there for 2 hours and talked to the Sphinx. And what I got from the Sphinx was that we are dear old friends. That the Sphinx was a vibratory being that came to the planet Earth before 300,000 years ago, way before a lot of the ETs or the Anunnakis came. It came as like a meteorite or a vibratory being and landed there. And it's from the Lyran constellation, and it agreed to land there. And so like before so it could have been way before. All I know is before then. And it agreed to land on Earth to be a data receptor and sending off. It's recording the history of Earth and sending it in and out to the universe. So that's its purpose, is to stay put and just record data.
Wow.
During the year 25,000 BC, I incarnated as a human, and I helped build the physical structure that looks like a lion there. It was originally a lion.
Sure.
But in my human form, I helped build it with others, extraterrestrials, but mainly the Lyrans were in charge of building it, because the Sphinx was originally a Lyran being. But so all the workers around there were like Lyran priestesses. Lyran is a ET race that is female energy. So matriarch, it's female energy. It has male energy, but it's primarily female. So all the priestesses are priestesses rather than priests. And so they guard the Sphinx throughout history because of their love for that Lyran being. The garters of the Sphinx are like Sekhmet and other Egyptian female god deities, and all of their priestesses were in charge of protecting it. A lot of people there, a lot of the females, were reincarnation of priestesses, Lyran priestesses that were guarding the Sphinx.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when I was sitting there, I just had this really heart to heart. It was like drinking tea with an old friend. and I just had a meditation, just sitting there and just chatting with an old friend that I haven't chatted with in 25,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you share that with anyone?
No.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened in the pyramid?
Okay. So there are a lot of other events that led up to the pyramid, but in the pyramid, they closed it off. And as we walked around each pyramid before we got to the Great Pyramid, you kind of got a sense of talking to each pyramid. There's the baby pyramid, there's the queen pyramid. As I walked around the Great Pyramid, because we walked around each, I got a message from the Great Pyramid. I got actually two. The first message was, relax, have fun, because I was freaking out. I was freaking out because I told everyone in the group there, hey, I need your help. I'm freaking out because I'm supposed to do something in the King's Chamber. I don't know what's going to happen. But as we were walking around the Great Pyramid, I got the message, relax, you got this covered, just have fun.
Right.
And then interesting, after that, I got the message, open 4 portals. Open a portal for the water dragons, open a portal for the air dragons, open a portal for the fire dragons, and open a portal for the earth dragons, the mineral dragons. So I just had the incentive to do something, and I just think I opened 4 portals for the dragons. So that set me in a good mood for me to go into the Great Pyramid, because then we had our private entrance in there. And I'll give you the layout and everything. That's quite a story, but to cut to the chase, I went first to the King's Chamber. And in the King's Chamber, they had that big sarcophagus.
Right.
And you know what it's for, right? It's a sensory deprivation chamber, right? Where people go there and they basically have near-death experiences, and then they cross the other side and come back with divine knowledge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was the first one to get into the sarcophagus, and we all get like 3 minutes because, we've got to have everyone there. And I was freaking out, but okay, what happens? Nothing happens, But instantly, well, I did call on Archangel Psychic Hill and Saint Germain, because that's something I remember. I call on them.
Yeah.
And instantly, Gary, the thing that came out of my mouth was so I'm lying there flat, looking up to space through the top of the pyramid. And my mouth just opened up, and I gave the longest and the loudest roar. This went off for like 2 minutes, straight, and I can feel codes coming out of my mouth. I can actually feel like billions of codes coming out of my mouth, and it just came out instantly without me thinking or anything. It just came out, and it just went on for like 2 minutes. It was very, very long. I didn't know I could hold my breath that long and that loud, and it kicked off everything. But instantly, I saw a violet ray going like this,
Yeah.
So after that happened, it was like, phew, I didn't need to worry, because after that, it's like, I don't got, they can kill me right after, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
That's done. That was my fear that nothing was going to come out.
I got chills.
Oh, yeah. And it's true what they said. I mean, I looked around and when I got out of there, Gary, I looked like I jumped into a swimming pool. My shirt was dripping wet. My shorts were dripping wet. My hair, everyone looked at me and what happened to you? I literally looked like I jumped into a swimming pool. So we were in the King's Chamber for like a half an hour, because the first we had 10 people in our group, and then the other 10 of our group were in the bottom. So I helped everyone in my group get in and out of the thing, but I was the first one to get in, and I kind of like opened it up because I said, look, if you let me go first, you guys will be able to receive whatever I open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally I don't speak up for myself. Normally I'm like not the first one to do anything,
Right?
Because I let other people go first.
Sure.
But I thought, I need to open it up and let them benefit from it.
Yeah.
But it was it was really tremendous. I saw the green violet because it's like it was fun. It was that color. And it was like in front of me like this, and whether or not I open my eyes or it's completely dark. When you're doing it, there's no light whatsoever. You're in complete darkness. And I just saw that violet ray going, like in front of me up and down. It's like, okay, it's happened. It really happened. So you don't need to worry that it's not gonna happen because you just saw it.
That was like your life's purpose right there.
Was it?
Well, it seems like it, right?
Yeah, no, it felt like. I'm definitely up to this point. It like felt like such a relief, and it was exhausting, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did anyone else see anything?
Oh, they all started doing the light language after.
Did they really?
Yeah, people who never did light language.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. A big thing that I discovered on this trip was, I think I told you, is that I've been really doing a lot of hand mudras, and the reason for that was that you can't do dragon language out loud there; you'll get arrested, right? So when we were in the sites and the temples, I was just downloading codes and doing it this way, because if I would have done, or like that, they would have arrested me, So a lot of them, I saw their abilities come on, because some of them started doing movements uncontrollably.
Well, in France, we did a group Deadtalk.
Yeah.
And so all the people chose the categories. Me and Christy didn't know what they were. And it was female, 1800s, England. And we left the career open, and we got this medium named Winifred. And she's now become one of Christy's spirit guides.
But I got to say, I respect people who are just free and have the freedom to express who they really are, and to whatever aspect, and just express it.
It's not easy. It is not easy.
I get
to do
it's not
it.
easy. I was beaten for being gay. I understand suppression.
Yeah. It really is. It's like coming out of the closet.
Yeah,
I had to come out of the closet to everyone.
Yeah, and I know everyone has to do it at their own time, and it can take decades. So I completely respect that. But I'm saying a more elevated perspective is freedom to be whoever you are, and just to be free about it.
A more elevated perspective than that is that there are a million different ways, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
And how they're actually doing it is perfect for where they are now. Right. And they may do it differently in the future. But what I've gotten from all these dead talks is that there literally is no wrong.
Yeah.
So as soon as we place any judgment on anything, we're turning back into victimhood. Not them, we are. Right? Yeah. So it's literally like, as soon as you have a preference, I wish it was this way. Yeah. You're turning back into victimhood.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything. And where we are now at this perspective, it's so minute. You don't even think about it. But Jailbly Married, I think it was, who said, or maybe it was Winnie, Winifred, Winnie. She said, you're just going from polarity to duality,
Okay.
you're walking back into duality,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Instead of seeing polarity,
Yeah.
right? So when you look at polarity, there's a dark side and a light side,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is love.
Yeah.
And if you start choosing one over the other, you're walking from that into duality.
Yeah.
And so you're separating yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that is what you have also said before in so many words. So I get the concept, and you already introduced that, and I bought it already. So yeah, I get it. I get it.
Well,
So
that experience in the King's Chamber, you going first,
yeah.
you allowing it to come out because you could have held it,
Yeah.
doing what being totally apprehensive in the beginning, which is so common. It's like you're going in to slay a dragon, and what if you can't, right?
Yeah.
That what if you can't? That's always going to be with everyone who's going to do something big like that. But then when you got there, it just happened.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. It just instantly popped out.
Yeah. And that's like anything that you are thinking about doing. When you're inspired to do it, you don't have to worry about it until the moment comes, and the moment comes, it'll work itself out. Yeah.
Yeah. That proves that to me right then and there. So what did the channel say about me in France? I'm curious to know.
So we were asking about bringing in the seventh ray and what all the things that we had to do. So the whole time we're bringing in the seventh ray, and so I'm asking whoever we're talking to, the second night or the second night, probably. Yeah, second night. Christy brings in Gabriel Dance, who was the matriarch of the family that built that chateau. And they were in the fabric business, and it's a whole long thing. And so I was asking, what are we here to do? And he's here to bring in the seventh ray. And they're like, I was like, is anyone else doing this on the planet now? And they said, no one else is consciously doing it except for Daryl in Egypt. Right? There are other groups, but they don't know what they're doing. Right. And I said, so how do we do it? They said, with ceremony, order, and ritual. And then later on, when he said, this is an initiation, right? So it's initiation for all the people who were at our retreat, initiation for all the people who were at your retreat. And then those people will go out around the world. And as they move around the world, they'll be bringing in the seventh ray into their areas as well. So we're the only two that were consciously doing this, in the world. So it was pretty amazing. We had asked Winnie also, and she was talking about you, and just saying that it wouldn't go into details about what you're doing, wouldn't tell us what you were there actually to do, but said that when you're in the Great Pyramid, you're going to be doing something there.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the ceremony, order, and ritual. I don't do that, but
I don't either.
She did that every single thing.
That's the point. I wouldn't have done it without Winnie coming through. And she actually said, at the time there were 17 of us. She said, I'm going to give this information to. There's 3 steps. It was amazing. And so everyone participated in that way. But I didn't, some of the people saw like a purple glow over the candles and stuff, but I didn't see anything. Not like you. I mean, it was incredible.
It was a violet ray going like that. And I also definitely knew Raw, and that's Raw, 6th density consciousness from Venus. That was just Raw, who ancient Egypt worshipped. So I just got all that, and I got that by bringing in the violet 7th ray. We're spreading it out to the world.
Right.
It's just what we're doing is we're pulling it in from the quantum field and
Right.
pulled it into the physical dimension of Earth, and we got it in here, and from there it can spread out, so to speak.
Yeah, but they said it spreads through initiation. People have to be initiated in it. And we are the first initiates, and then we will initiate others. But they said at first, it's only going to be effective or noticeable by those who have been initiated.
Okay.
And then new people get initiated, and it spreads from there.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how that's going to work yet.
Okay. I mean, I will tell you that since then, I do feel a lot more confident. I feel like I get clarity, and I feel like I just get information a lot easier. You know, I can like talk to the pyramids. I'm trying to explain this to people that everything that's solid, you know, first density, it's conscious, it's a first density being. And the way you talk to it is like the way you talk to your pet. First, you just know that you can talk to it.
Yeah.
And then you know that you don't have the skill to hear it back yet, but you will develop it. So you can just put your hand on the pyramid and talk to it and know that the pyramid will hear whatever you're saying, and that in time you will be able to hear back.
Right.
You know what it's saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I got some really, really cool clarity, and later on in another call, I'll tell you some really cool insights, because Gary, there's some things that like we're having Egyptologists walk us around ancient sites, and then I go, no, that's not the real story.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's like, what are you guys blind? I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, what are you so blind?
Oh my God, they are blind, because when people get taught something, they develop a belief, and their perception of reality is seen through that belief, and they cannot see anything else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want to say is that having all this spiritual information is helpful, because when you get something, you have a language that you can interpret it by. It's not so different from what you've learned. But as you go forward, you have to realize that what you get is the truth. And everything else that has come before that has been filtered in some way.
Yeah.
So from this point on, think about expressing what you know, not from reading books, but from what is coming to you. That's the most important thing. And this will come out way more authentically than just rehashing fairy tales. That's what they are in other people's minds about what you've read, and they don't believe it. Just like what your channeling session was, where Paul said, you have to live this. You can't regurgitate it. It's not going to sound authentic or true to someone that says, okay, well, this is just a set of books that you read that I don't believe in, right? But when it comes from you, then they'll see it.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was true. I mean, I think he used the word parroting, but
yeah, you got parroting. That was amazing that you understood that terminology. You don't think the parrot is coming up with all this information, right? So you're not going to listen to a parrot, but you're going to listen to somebody who, in confidence, not demanding that you believe it, but saying more like, this is what I'm getting. This is how I'm living my life. This is what I find to be working. You know, that'll resonate with people, and that just takes confidence.
Well, and also what you taught me and what I believe is you relax outcome. No matter, I don't care if they believe me or not. I mean, I'm just gonna say it because I like saying it. If they buy it, they buy it. If they don't, I'm cool with it. I don't need to convince them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that Seraphim, I think, told us is that as you shift your perspective higher, ironically, you're inevitably separating yourself. So this is that feeling that you have that if you imagine a conversation with new people, it's going to be in your imagination, it's going to be dull, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is you get in these conversations with people that you wouldn't ever expect that would be interested in this thing, and you get the inspiration, just like you were in the sarcophagus. That just came in the moment.
Yeah.
No pre-planning could have helped you with that. In fact, you couldn't have known what was going to happen because you would have been stressed out about that. So the same is true in a conversation with somebody. You'll be inspired to say what they're ready to hear at the level that they're at, and it'll be interesting on both sides because what you're doing is really expressing love, to that person without trying to get them to think your way.
I get it. So you're trying to give them information at the perfect amounts that they're ready for, not the information that you're ready to give. You don't need to say your top level information. Just get it out.
No, you say the little things, right? The beginning stuff, but you'll get the same satisfaction from that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know this for sure, but pretty much Mars was totally habitable with like an average temperature of 70 degrees. And that atmosphere was blown apart by a similar kind of war.
Yes. They're all yeah. But have you heard about Maldek?
No.
Maldek was the first Earth in our solar system. It was.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah, it was so beautiful, and the beings in there. And by the way, I incarnated on there several times. It was the first Earth. It grew into a beautiful place and beautiful growth and elevation to densities, and then it got to this one place where so much division, just polarity, so much. They had a nuclear war. They blew itself to pieces, and that's what created.
How do you spell this?
Maldec.
Okay.
I'll send it to you, but that's what calls the belt, the astral belt in our galaxy. And that was the first Earth, and it was the first place where growth, polarity, but they had a civil war and they nuked the planet. And after that, the makers of the universe said, we will never allow that to happen again. So they said that we will not allow Earth to be nuked that way.
Where did you hear this?
Oh, I've heard it through many channel texts.
Okay, I'll ask that because
okay,
what I was told is that Topio was created in the Earth realm. So this whole thing is a realm, like the angelic realm. There's the Earth realm, and I was created in the Earth realm, or Topio was prior to Earth.
Okay.
But as far as what we've been told, is Earth is the first thing.
Well, okay. I mean, they say Maldek was the first Earth-like Earth. I mean, there is Earth, but it was a planet that had this development of beings in it that bloomed and was magnificent, water, beautiful, lush area. But then they had such polarity and advanced technology that they nuked each other and they blew it up, and that's what created the astral belt. And a lot of the souls that got blown up there, they have now reincarnated into Earth because Earth accepted their souls in order for them to process the trauma that they didn't process when they nuked each other.
Yeah, I've heard something about this too. I think the next time we do a Deadtalk, we'll ask about this. It'll be very interesting. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. So the socialization really is all about compassion. So the only way you can have compassion is to see yourself from the highest perspective possible, right? Otherwise, you can't really have compassion because you're seeing someone else's wrong.
Yeah.
You have to see them as perfect and then understand that they're going through what they came here to go through.
There are so many more topics, but we have more meetings to go. Gary, this is great. You and Christy always give me a perspective that just, it's just terrific.
Yeah.
So any last thing you can tell me about the channels I came in? Because I'm still searching for information to help supplement what happened to me there. So anything else that they said?
Well, it really, really, really seemed like you were the main focus of the entire planet.
Okay.
You were the one
I kind of
doing.
got that, but
Yeah.
I can't say that. But,
And they don't want to say it like that either.
Yeah.
I have to drag that sort of thing out of them.
Yeah. Okay.
We've asked about our group, and
I gotta say, Gary, that makes sense because I don't know if you remember it, but when we were in the Florida retreat in front of everyone, you told me you didn't say most important, you said you are the most perfect person on earth right now. And then I interpret that there's something important to that, that something more on earth. And I just kind of makes sense with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. For this point in time,
everything that you are had to be exactly that way for you to do what you did at the pyramids.
Yeah.
Every single part, every part of your journey, every part of what's been going on for the last year, your transformation over the last year, all of that had to happen at the perfect time for this event that was really scheduled in a narrow window of time.
Yeah.
For you to get ready to do what you did in just such a short time is absolutely amazing. And you have to understand that the perfection of the entire path from birth to this point was all by design, because you wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise.
That's a good point. I mean, my first activation at Joshua was less than a year ago. I mean, it's about 1 year ago. I mean, when you think about everything that's happened in 1 year, it's like, amazing.
It's the fastest ascension I've ever seen, by far, right?
Yeah. I'm still kind of shocked by it, but yeah. Okay, I mean, all that ties in, and thank you. I mean, what you just did there was give me some validation, because I kind of thought that, but you can't think that. You can't think I'm the most important person in the world.
You have to think that. That is what perspective is about. You have to think that. But also you have to be humble in knowing that everyone else plays their part perfectly too.
Yeah.
So while you are the most perfect person in the world, everyone else is perfect too.
Correct.
They're just at different levels. And being at the top level is not what most people want. Right? It is. If you had asked yourself 5 years ago, would you want any of this that you're doing now? There's no way you would have said yes, right? Same with me. Yeah.
But it is a lot of fun. And
it's the most fun. It's the most fun, but you wouldn't know that until you took that journey to get here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Thank you, Gary. You're amazing.
Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate you. And I can't wait till we talk again.
Okay.
This is great. All right.
Bye.
Bye.